Court is back in session in cause number 328-508. The case is styled the state of Texas versus Daniel Aaron Wilder. Mr. Wilder, is that your full name?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilder, would you please raise your right hand? Mr. Wilder, do you swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth to help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilder, you may put your hand down. How are you doing, Mr. Wilder?
Not too good, but I mean, that's jail.
Oh, okay. Now, Mr. Wilder, I have before me a document that is titled Information. This document was filed by the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office. This document alleges that on or about November 22nd of 2020, while you were in Jefferson County, Texas, that you committed the Class A misdemeanor offense of resisting arrest, search, transportation. Mr. Wilder, do you understand what you've been charged with?
Yes, Your Honor.
And to this charge, Mr. Wilder, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest, Your Honor.
Now, are you pleading no contest freely and voluntarily?
Yes, Your Honor.
And are you pleading no contest because you do not wish to fight or contest the charges?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilder, I also have before me a document that is titled Misdemeanor Plea Admonishments. On page 2 of this document, there are a set of initials, and those initials are DW, and they are on a line that's next to a box that's checked nolla contendere, which means no contest. Mr. Wilder, did you place your initials on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And on the next page of the same document, Mr. Wilder, there's a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you place your signature on this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
On the next document, which is titled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Right of Appeal, there is a signature above the line that is titled Defendant. Did you sign this document?
Yes, Your Honor.
And at the top of this document, there's one box that's checked. That box that's checked states that this is a plea bargain case and you have no right of appeal. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Wilder, did you sign a document on paper that is titled Discovery Certification?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Now, Mr. Wilder, the documents that I'm talking about are the documents that you signed with your attorney, Mr. Adams, and I think.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, did you sign that document that's titled Discovery Certification?
Yes, Your Honor.
Now, Mr. Wilder, before you signed and initialed all of these documents that I have just mentioned to you, did your attorney go over these documents with you?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you read and understand everything in these documents?
Yes, Your Honor.
And is everything in these documents true and correct to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Wilder, are you a citizen of the United States?
Yes, sir.
State. I have before me State's Exhibit number 1. State, you like to offer State's Exhibit number 1 and State's Exhibit number 2? The
Yes, Your Honor.
affidavit?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, do you have any objections?
No, I don't have any objections, none.
No objections. State's Exhibits 1 and 2 are admitted. Mr. Wilder, your attorney has advised and counseled you. Are you satisfied with his representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Has he provided full, effective, and competent legal representation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Adams, I have before me a document that is titled, it's the 16.22 assessment. Mr. Adams, did you have an opportunity to review this document?
Yes, sir. I looked at it.
And do you have any objections to the findings and conclusions and recommendations in this document?
None.
And Mr. Ham, did you have an opportunity to review the 16.22 assessment?
I did, Your Honor.
do you have any objection to the finding, conclusions, and recommendations in this assessment?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. And the court has received a copy of the 16.22 assessment. The court is going to take judicial notice of this assessment. The court will find that this is not a violent offense, and the court determines that there's a community-based mental health or intellectual disability services that are appropriate and available to the defendant. And the court is going to follow the recommendations, findings, and conclusions in this assessment. Now, Mr. Adams, is there any evidence that your client, Mr. Wilder, is currently mentally incompetent to stand trial?
No, I have no evidence of that.
Okay. Now, Mr. Wilder, the court is going to accept your plea of no contest. The court will find that you are mentally competent to stand trial. The court will also find that your plea and waivers were freely and voluntarily given. And the court will also find that there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. State, do we have a plea bargain agreement?
We do, Your Honor.
And what is that agreement?
Your Honor, the agreement is for 60 days jail.
Mr. Wilder, the state is offering that you serve 60 days in the Jefferson County Jail. You will be given credit for any time that you are entitled to get by law. The court cost in this case is $447. Mr. Wilder, will you be able to pay the $447?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, now, Mr. Wilder, I have before me an affidavit of indigence that has been that was purportedly signed by you on March 30th of 2022. This document, affidavit of indigence, has your monthly income assessed and assets, as well as your monthly expenses. Judge Sheffield, who's the magistrate, found that you was indigent, and that's why you had an attorney that was appointed to you. Now, Mr. Wilder, I
Yes,
do
sir.
know that on this affidavit, you stated that you were working, or I don't know if you still are now. You was working for a roofing company?
Yes, Your Honor.
You still work for that company?
I actually have to, I plan on going to rehab when I'm done with here.
Okay, so you're saying that you're currently unemployed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and so based on that, you will not, the information on here in terms of your income would be different. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So do you have any source of income, or do you do not have any source of income?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
No, okay. So I have, based on the information that you provided to the court, and based on the information that is on the affidavit of indigence, the court is going to find that you are indigent, and the court cost in this case of $447 will be waived pursuant to Article 42.15 of the Texas Code of Criminal Procedure, because the court is finding that you are indigent. That just simply means that you will not have to pay it, Mr. Wilder. Now,
Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilder, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor. Do
And do
y'all
you-
know how much back time I have?
Well, you'll be able to find that out from the jail.
Yes, Your Honor.
And Mr. Wilder, let me ask you again, do you understand the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you think that the state's offer in your case is fair and just?
Yes, Your Honor.
And do you accept the state's offer?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. Wilder, I'll follow the plea bargain agreement that you have entered into with the state. Mr. Wilder, this will conclude your case. You're free to go, and you have a blessed day.
Yes, sir. You as well, Honor.
Thank you. And Mr. Adams, this is your last case, so you're free to go as well, and you have a blessed day.
Okay, thank you, Judge. I'll take it easy.
What are you
Your
doing
Honor,
with
did
Bryce?
we not need to do anything with the Chadston Bryson?
Bryson is gonna be, that's gonna be reappointed to lawyer off the other list.